Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, let's begin. We'll start here in Exodus chapter 37, verse 1 through chapter 38, verse 31. Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood. Its length was 3 feet 9 inches, its width 2 feet 3 inches, and its height 2 feet 3 inches. He overlaid it with pure gold inside and out, and he made a surrounding border of gold for it. He cast 4 gold rings for it, that he put on its 4 feet, with 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other side. He made poles of acacia wood, overlaid them with gold, and put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark in order to carry the ark. He made an atonement lid of pure gold. Its length was 3 feet 9 inches, and its width was 2 feet 3 inches. He made 2 cherubim of gold. He made them of hammered metal on the 2 ends of the atonement lid, 1 cherub on one end and 1 cherub on the other end. He made the cherubim from the atonement lid on its 2 ends. The cherubim were spreading their wings upward, overshadowing the atonement lid with their wings. The cherubim faced each other, looking toward the atonement lid. He made the table of acacia wood. Its length was 3 feet, its width 1 foot 6 inches, and its height 2 feet 3 inches. He overlaid it with pure gold, and he made a surrounding border of gold for it. He made a surrounding frame for it about 3 inches wide, and he made a surrounding border of gold for its frame. He cast 4 gold rings for it, and attached the rings at the 4 corners where its 4 legs were. The rings were close to the frame to provide places for the poles to carry the table. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold to carry the table. He made the vessels, which were on the table, out of pure gold, its plates, its ladles, its pitchers, and its bowls, to be used in pouring out offerings. He made the lampstand of pure gold. He made the lampstand of hammered metal. Its base and its shaft, its cups, its buds, and its blossoms were from the same piece. 6 branches were extending from its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand from one side of it, and 3 branches of the lampstand from the other side of it. 3 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms were on the first branch, and 3 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms were on the next branch. And the same for the 6 branches that were extending from the lampstand. On the lampstand there were 4 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms, with a bud under the first 2 branches from it, and a bud under the next 2 branches from it, and a bud under the third 2 branches from it, according to the 6 branches that extended from it. Their buds and their branches were of one piece. All of it was one hammered piece of pure gold. He made its 7 lamps, its trimmers, and its trays of pure gold. He made the lampstand and all its accessories with 75 pounds of pure gold. He made the incense altar of acacia wood. Its length was 1.5 feet, and its width 1.5 feet, a square, and its height was 3 feet. Its horns were of one piece with it. He overlaid it with pure gold, its top, its 4 walls, and its horns, and he made a surrounding border of gold for it. He also made 2 gold rings for it under its border, on its 2 sides, on opposite sides, as places for poles to carry it with. He made the poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold. He made the sacred anointing oil, and the pure fragrant incense, the work of a perfumer. He made the altar for the burnt offering of acacia wood, 7 feet 6 inches long and 7 feet 6 inches wide. It was square, and its height was 4 feet 6 inches. He made its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns were part of it, and he overlaid it with bronze. He made all the utensils of the altar, the pots, the shovels, the tossing bowls, the meat hooks, and the fire pans. He made all the utensils of bronze. He made a grating for the altar, a network of bronze under its ledge, halfway up from the bottom. He cast 4 rings for the 4 corners of the bronze grating, to provide places for the poles. He made the poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with bronze. He put the poles into the rings on the sides of the altar, with which to carry it. He made the altar hollow out of boards. He made the large basin of bronze, and its pedestal of bronze, from the mirrors of the women who served at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He made the courtyard for the south side of the hangings of the courtyard were of fine twisted linen. 150 feet long, with their 20 posts and their 20 bronze bases, with the hooks of the posts and the bands of silver. For the north side, the hangings were 150 feet, with their 20 posts and their 20 bronze bases, with the hooks of the posts and the bands of silver. For the west side, there were hangings 75 feet long, with their 10 posts and their 10 bases, with the hooks of the posts and their bands of silver. For the east side, toward the sunrise, it was 75 feet wide, with hangings on one side of the gate that were 22.5 feet long, with their 3 posts and their 3 bases. And for the second side of the gate of the courtyard, just like the other, the hangings were 22.5 feet long, with their 3 posts and their 3 bases. All the hangings around the courtyard were of the fine twisted linen. The bases for the poles were bronze. The hooks of the posts and the bands were silver. Their tops were overlaid with silver, and all the posts of the courtyard had silver bands. The curtain for the gate of the courtyard was of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. It was 30 feet long, and like the hangings in the courtyard, it was 7.5 feet high, with 4 posts and their 4 bronze bases. Their hooks and their bands were silver, and their tops were overlaid with silver. All the tent pegs of the tabernacle and of the courtyard all around were bronze. This is the inventory of the tabernacle of the testimony, which was counted by the order of Moses, being the work of the Levites, under the direction of Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest. Now Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, made everything that the Lord had commanded Moses. And with him was Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an artisan, a designer and an embroiderer in blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen. All the gold that was used for the work and all the work of the sanctuary, namely the gold of the wave offering, was 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel. The silver of those who were numbered of the community was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel, 1 bekah per person, that is a half shekel, according to the sanctuary shekel, for everyone who crossed over to those numbered from 20 years old or older, 603,550 in all. The 100 talents of silver were used for casting the bases of the sanctuary, and the bases of the special curtain, 100 bases for 100 talents, 1 talent per base. From the remaining 1,775 shekels, he made hooks for the posts, overlaid their tops, and made bands for them. The bronze of the wave offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. With it, he made the bases for the door of the tent of meeting, the bronze altar, the bronze grating for it, and all the utensils of the altar, the bases for the courtyard all around, the bases for the gate of the courtyard, all the tent pegs of the tabernacle, and all the tent pegs of the courtyard all around. Okay. One interesting thing I was thinking while I was reading here is that you have in Exodus 38, 24 through 28, I'd say, 29. It talks about all of the gold and the bronze that's used as part of the construction of these temple utensils and buildings. And where did the Israelites get all of this gold and precious metal and all of this material? Well, it came from the Egyptians. If you remember the story a little bit previous to this, in Exodus chapter 3, verses 21 and 22, God's explaining to Moses what he must say to the Israelites and to Pharaoh. And after he extends his hand and strikes Egypt with all his wonders, he will grant this people favor with the Egyptians, so that when you depart, you will not leave empty-handed. Every woman will ask her neighbor and the one who happens to be staying in her house for items of silver and gold and for clothing. You will put these articles on your sons and daughters, thus you will plunder Egypt. and that's where they got it from. And here they're taking some of what they got and giving it back to God. Also, just amusing, I had, since we have a description of what God said the temple and its artifacts should look like, and we have a description of what was built, we could compare the two. And that's probably been done, but I wonder what the results are. In particular, I wonder where the artistic embellishment is, if there is any. Carrying on, Matthew chapter 28, verses 1 through 20. Now, after the... hold on. Yep. Now after the Sabbath, at dawn, on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. Suddenly there was a severe earthquake, for an angel of the Lord, descending from heaven, came and rolled away the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were shaken and became like dead men, because they were so afraid of him. But the angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid. I know that you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised, just as he said. Come and see the place where he was lying. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has been raised from the dead. He is going ahead of you into Galilee. You will see him there. Listen, I have told you." So they left the tomb quickly, with fear and great joy, and ran to tell his disciples. But Jesus met them, saying, "Greetings." They came to him, held on to his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. They will see me there." While they were going, some of the guards went into the city and told the chief priests everything that had happened. After they had assembled with the elders and formed a plan, they gave a large sum of money to the soldiers, telling them, "You are to say, his disciples came at night and stole his body while we were asleep. If this matter is heard before the governor, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble." So they took the money and did as they were instructed. And this story is told among the Jews to this day. So the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain Jesus had designated. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came up and said to them, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And remember, I am with you always, to the end of the age." Yeah. It's I've heard it from other sources, but it's interesting that the first people who were aware of Jesus' resurrection were women, because the testimony of a woman was discounted, typically. So, generally, if you're making stuff up, you want to have the strongest possible story to back up your made-up stuff. So it further reinforces for me that that it's not made up. Speaking of made up here, these guards go to the to the priests that they were guarding this tomb for, and told them what had happened, which is interesting to me because they were aware that something supernatural had happened, yet they go along with this this story that the priest had concocted, and took the bribes and kept their mouths shut. Yeah, which it was serious business to let your charge go free if you were a guard, your explicit job. It would often cost you your head. Okay. Carrying on here, Psalm 34, verses 11 through 22. Come, children, listen to me. I will teach you what it means to fear the Lord. Do you want to really live? Would you love to live a long, happy life? Then make sure you don't speak evil words or use deceptive speech. Turn away from evil and do what is right. Strive for peace and promote it. The Lord pays attention to the godly and hears their cries for help. But the Lord opposes evildoers and wipes out all memory of them from the earth. The godly cry out, and the Lord hears. He saves them from all their troubles. The Lord is near the brokenhearted. He delivers those who are discouraged. The godly face many dangers, but the Lord saves them from each one of them. He protects all his bones, not one of them is broken. Evil people self-destruct. Those who hate the godly are punished. The Lord rescues his servants. All who take shelter in him escape punishment. Yeah. And here we have some Proverbs-esque wisdom where it speaks in generalities. Do you want to really live? Would you love to live a long, happy life? Then make sure you don't speak evil words or use deceptive speech. Turn away from evil and do what is right. Strive for peace and promote it. Carrying on, Proverbs chapter 9, verses 9 and 10. Give instruction to a wise person, and he will become wiser still. Teach a righteous person, and he will add to his learning. The beginning of wisdom is to fear the Lord, and acknowledging the Holy One is understanding. Yeah, and thus we have the source, or beginning of wisdom, as it were. Fear the Lord. And that's echoed in multiple places throughout Proverbs, and also at the end of Job chapter 28. Sneezing dog. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. Definitely appreciate it. See ya.